So I've been procrastinating on making this video for little over a month, which I'm just gonna blame it on the ADHD and the executive dysfunction, because yeah. Also, like, taking research and actually like typing it all out is very time consuming, so that's why it's taken a little while for me to make another video. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about one of the biggest tragedies in Japanese history. This is a semi-well-known case about a Japanese cult known as the Tokyo Subway Sarin Attack. This is the first thing that will come up on Google when you search the words Japanese cults, so if I'm missing anything and you want to look into it more, feel free to. I only learned about this cult earlier this year when I watched Aki Dearest's video on the topic, which was uploaded about 3 years ago, and it just really caught my interest, so I've been wanting to also make a video on it, because constantly talking to my friends about this topic and trying to explain it without accidentally missing a bunch of information is a lot harder than you may think. It is a lot easier for me to just do a bunch of research and make a video on it and then send it to them. So yeah, my sources will be linked below, as well as Aki's video if you would like to watch it for yourself. Now, to give some background, Shinriko was founded in the 1980s by a man of the name Shoko Asahara. The group has beliefs like a mix of Buddhism, Hinduism, and Christianity. Asahara claimed to be Christ, and the first enlightened one since Buddha. In 1989, Shinriko was given official recognition as a religious group in Japan, and at the cult's peak, they had tens of thousands of members all over the world. Over time, this group turned into a doomsday cult. They believed that World War III was coming, and that their members were to be the only ones to survive. Eventually, they became very violent, committing many crimes, including chemical attacks, which is what the Subway Sarin attacks were. Sarin is a very toxic, colorless, and odorless liquid that is used as a chemical weapon. Low concentrations of the chemical can be lethal. If any amount is inhaled, death can occur within minutes. It paralyzes the respiratory system, which leads to suffocation if antidotes are not quickly administered. Even those who don't get a lethal dose of sarin can still have long-lasting damage if not immediately treated. It can really mess someone up, to say the least. In its purest form, it is estimated to be 26 times more deadly than cyanide. If you don't know, cyanide is a pretty deadly chemical that is still being used today. Cyanide is found in very, very tiny amounts in things like apple seeds. Sarin is toxic when it comes in contact with your skin and when inhaled. It's more lethal in short exposures to higher potencies than it is long exposure to low potent doses. There is also a very long and horrific history of sarin being used as a chemical weapon. However, I will not be getting too into that history. I'm just talking about how this Japanese cult has used the chemical. If you want to have a look at some of the history behind sarin being used, feel free to. There is a short list on Wikipedia, but yeah, there might be more information out there that I just haven't found. Prior to the Tokyo Subway attack, Shinriko had committed multiple assassinations and terrorist attacks using sarin, including the Masamoto attack, which happened months earlier. The attack on Masamoto resulted in 8 deaths and over 500 people being harmed by a sarin aerosol, which was released from a converted refrigerator truck. The sarin was being produced by the cult members themselves in one of their facilities. Originally, they had planned to release sarin into a courthouse to attack judges who were expected to rule against the cult in a lawsuit about a real estate dispute. However, the plans changed due to the courthouse being closed when they arrived, and so they decided to attack instead an apartment building in which the judges were living in at the time. And about an hour after had released the sarin gas, police had received reports from paramedics that people were being transported to hospital. 5 people were found dead in their apartments, and 2 died in hospital not long after they were admitted. The last victim of this attack to pass away was a person who ended up in a coma for 14 years and ended up dying in 2008. The day after this attack, many dead animals had been found in the area, and many plants had wilted and discolored. The Matsumoto attack shows how dangerous and potent this chemical they had produced is. They were using this attack to test the efficiency of sarin, and it showed how quickly this chemical destroys everything living around it. I have no idea if any of the cult members were affected or how they avoided the effects of sarin, but there may or may not be some information out there. I just didn't seem to find it and didn't want to go too deep into this specific case any more than I have. Shoko Asahara was made aware of a police raid to take place on March 22nd and had planned the Tokyo subway attack to throw off the police investigations into his cult. This man wanted to start World War III. So, at 7 a.m., March 20th, 1995, Am Shinriko's sarin chemical attack on the Tokyo subway line took place. 5 members of the cult did this at the time of peak morning rush hour. The sarin was contained within plastic bags, which they had wrapped in newspaper to conceal it. Each member carried 2 bags of sarin, except one person who carried 3, which totaled to roughly 1.3 liters of sarin. They carried the bags and umbrellas with sharpened ends onto the trains, which they were assigned at pre-planned stations. The sarin bags were then dropped onto the floors and punctured many times with the umbrellas. Each cult member then got off the trains, leaving the stations, and getting into cars with accomplices. Leaving the punctured sarin bags in the trains allowed for the chemical to disperse within the train carts and stations. This is a liquid that can evaporate very quickly, and so it affected everyone there and those who came into contact with it. 14 people died, and 1,050 people were injured from this attack. Following this attack, police raided the cult's facilities and arrested members. Their Tokyo headquarters was raided on May 16th, 1995. Just in case the members resisted arrest, the 1st Airborne Brigade of the Japanese Army was stationed close by to provide backup if needed. The sarin attack in Tokyo was the most serious attack on Japan since World War II. Shortly after the attack, the cult lost its status as a religious organization and many of its assets were seized. Shoko Asahara was sentenced to death by hanging. However, lawyers immediately appealed the ruling. The court refused to appeal the sentence until a court-ordered psychiatric evaluation took place to decide if Asahara was fit to stand trial. February 2006, the court ruled that he is fit to stand trial. Many other things came up that postponed his execution, and on July 6th, 2018, the Ministry of Justice announced that Asahara had been executed that morning. Am Shinriko supposedly still has over 2,000 members and continues to recruit people under a new name. The group renounces their violent past, however, they still practice the spiritual teachings of Shoko Asahara. That was all the information I managed to find on this case, and I understand that Wikipedia is not considered a trusted source. However, it was the one place I could find the bulk of the information, and they have references linked to where the info is from, so do with that what you want, and feel free to do your own research. I just wanted to talk about this because I found it really interesting, and there are also a couple of references to this event and a small number of shows and movies, but personally I haven't seen any of them, so I can't give my opinion on that. This is a very heavy yet interesting topic to talk about, and I hope you learned something from this. It is just pretty sad to think about, and it's freaking disgusting how horrible people can be. Anyway, feel free to like this video if you want. I did procrastinate on making this for a few months, but it is what it is. You have anything you want to say to the viewers? Nope? Okay. Alright. Bye.